Alrighty, everybody. Good morning. Hope everyone is doing good. Good to have you guys here for another live stream, my friends. We're going to be on here for a little bit with you guys to kind of clean up the rest of the risks that we have going on here. We do have Michigan, East Michigan getting hit pretty hard right now, so I decided we're going to go live for you guys and told you guys I would, so we are here, my friends. But what's up, everybody? Hope everyone is doing good. Hope everyone's doing well. Let's see what we got here today. We have Guy, we have Scott, we have Crystal, we have Richard, Caden, Jameson. Is it Jameson? So sorry. I always forget how to say your name right. Christy, Crystal. Let's see here. Richard, Evans, Jinx, Kayla, Crystal, and of course everybody else who is here but not chat. What's up, everybody? Jameson says, hey, Andrew, got some great shots today when I went storm chasing. Give me your link and all that, and I can send it, download all my shots from Chicago. If you want to join my Discord, you can send it to us there, which would be pretty cool. But I'll be happy to see them. But anyways, what's up, guys? What's up, Christy? I have a feeling the storm doesn't include Florida. No, it does not tonight, thankfully. So we do have a tornado warning going on right now, just north of, or kind of for the northern sides of Detroit here. This includes Troy, Big Beaver, and Bloomfield. Just a radar-indicated tornado warning here. Also, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect here, too, for 70-mile-per-hour wind gust potential. Overall as well. So there is going to be that potential up there as well, not only for tornadic activity, but for potentially some strong winds associated with the storm as well. Looking at the velocity, we definitely can see that there is definitely some pretty strong velocities here, especially on the leading edge of that line here. So, you know, that's another thing, like I mentioned, we got to look out for, is not only the tornado concern here, but also, you know, that straight line winds concern here as well. Overall. Let's see here. What's up, Jinx? Saying, hello from Chicago. I'm here to question Northern Indiana. They actually did, or actually just removed. Northern Indiana is pretty much good for now because they did remove that watch that was in place here. Right now, we just have that watch for like Eastern Michigan that we're watching currently. Indiana currently is pretty chill. Yeah, there's really not much going on here. You can see we're on the the North Webster radar, the KIWX here up in northeastern Indiana. Not really much going on. I mean, it's pretty clear for the most part, which is, you know, certainly some good news. In terms of Ohio, I mean, we're pretty clear up in Ohio as of right now as well. But we do need you guys to be weather aware still because there is going to be that potential for severe weather here. So we'll definitely look out there for that. But yeah, but right now we do have that tornado watch in effect here for the eastern side here of Michigan that we're still watching. The whole reason we're live right now is to cover this for a little bit. What's up, Dragonfly? Hope you're doing good. Good morning, Richard. Let's see here. Kayla says, I was looking at my risk area for my area tomorrow. What's my thoughts on how bad it could be? I'm kind of scared. I only have a small closet to go in my apartment. Let's look at your area real quickly, Kayla. See what we got going on out there for you. So we'll do day 2. Yeah, so you are in that enhanced risk. You're in that level 3 threat overall. So we do need you to be weather aware. You do have that 10% tornado risk here, 30% wind risk here, and a 30% hail risk. So they are significant concerns. Just make sure you are weather aware. If you have a friend or a family member that has a better structure, if it makes you feel better, you could go somewhere else. Just to hang out there for the day or something. Maybe be a little extra prepared. But yeah, I mean, it does look like we could see some nasty weather in the region here. So just be weather aware, but try not to worry about it too much. I'm sure you'll be fine. Let's see here. What's up, Daniel? Hope you're doing good. What's up, John? What's up, Dragonfly? What's up, Raka? Caden says, do I think the slight risk in northern Ohio is a precautionary measure? Well, let's look at models. Let's see what the models have to suggest for that here. So let's go ahead and work our way over here into, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the HRRR here for you guys. We'll take a peek and see what the models suggest because, here, let's just bring you guys over here. Actually, you know what? We're just going to bring it down here. Why not? We'll just bring it right down here to us. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, you can see HRRR here, the 04 Zulu run that, is currently rendering. You can see how there could be some convection developing across Ohio. I mean, it is going to be possible. It doesn't look like anything widespread, though, overnight, essentially. But there still could be a little bit of storm activity here, I'd say that greatest probability would be up on the northern side of Ohio, given that potential here. Looking at the instability and stuff, I mean, yeah, the entire state does have fuel for storms, but not everybody will see them. So, I mean, I can see why, because the ingredients are in place. I mean, we have really good moisture, good surface moisture, mid-upper 60 dew points. Really good moisture supply, good amounts of instability, and even the wind shear is still fairly decent up here. Our mid-level flow, about 40 knots. Lower level flow here, about 30 knots. It's nothing excessive wind shear-wise, but, the environment's there for severe weather. It's just a matter of getting storms developing, that source of lift, and, getting convection started. But yeah, I mean, if storms can fire off, they're in an environment where it could be severe. So I don't think it's precautionary, but, more of a unsure spread of the storms, essentially. It took me a minute to think about the right word. Anyways, let's see here. YouTube Brad. Jameson says, also, Andrew, I think today for Friday, the enhanced risk will stretch into northern Indiana, possibly today. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. How is Cleveland? I'm 9 miles east of downtown. So Cleveland should monitor the weather here tonight. Just looking at the models. There could be some storms out there. The confidence is not super high, but it's there. I mean, you can see that, HRRR, you can't take it precisely all the time, but, HRRR, the 03 Zulu, the 04 Zulu does suggest a potential of some storms overnight rolling into the region here of, northeastern Ohio, in which, given the environment, like we mentioned here, could cause a bit of a severe weather concern. Therefore, I mean, SPC does have you in that slight risk here still. Tornado threat's pretty low, 2%, pretty low in tornado threats, 15% wind threat, and a 15% hail threat as well. So mostly you just got to look out for the gusty winds and a little bit of hail. All right, hopping back to the warnings here. So we do have a tornado warning for the northern side, or north of Detroit here for the most part, out there by Troy, Bloomfield, and Big Beaver. This is about to expire pretty soon. We have about 4 minutes left on this one. Taking a peek at velocity here, it looks like we do have a lot of straight line winds associated with this storm here. So We are watching that. Let's see here. A lot of the warnings that we have here is warned for mostly around 60 miles an hour. I mean, this whole line here is, likely producing some pretty strong wind gusts. But hail does seem to be pretty low on these warnings here, all under 1 inch, which is good. So it seems like at this point in time, the main concern is going to be damaging winds. Of course, with, the isolated tornado potential still. Here in eastern Michigan. So, that's kind of what we're looking out for, especially nighttime concern. It's can't really see it. So, that's why it's really important that we're live here. Let's see here. Crystal says you're in the orange. Gotcha. Yeah, be careful out there. What's up, Kayla? Or Kayla says thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. Sorry. What's up, Arctic? Saying hi, Andrew. Watching from southeast of Springfield, Illinois. We have a good storm earlier tonight. Thoughts on tomorrow for us? Thanks for all you do. Yeah, no problem, Arctic. Glad to help. So yeah, you said you're southeast of Springfield. Okay, so given the outlook here for tomorrow, it depends on how far southeast. I mean, if you go out by like Taylorsville, you're in a level 3. If you're out by Pawnee, level 2. It just depends how far southeast. So I'm going to assume you're probably near, like, some of these regions here. So the level 3 threat does start over by Taylorsville, in which that does include a 5% chance here for the majority of the region out by you. 5% chance for tornadoes. So within a 25-mile radius around you, there's a 5% chance of a tornado dropping within that radius. Across the yellow, let's see, a 15% chance for damaging wind gusts here, mostly ranging between 60 to 70 miles an hour. And then, of course, we go into that significant wind threat here, potential for winds even stronger, potentially 70 or greater. So that is that. And then, of course, lastly, our hail threats, relatively the same, although it is significant for the Springfield area and south, which does include you. The yellow is a 15% chance of hail, and of course the red is a 30% chance. It's just a little bit greater of a probability, of course. And in terms of hail, we could see stones 2 inches in diameter or greater, possibly 2 to 3 or larger. So that is definitely something that we should look out there for. Let's see here. So we're not going to do soundings right now too much, but yeah, I'll do that real quickly for you, my friend. Let me pull it up real quick. Let's see. You wanted me to grab one for Northern Indiana tomorrow, like South Bend. Gotcha. Yeah, let me bring this up real quickly. We're not going to do this too much right now, but I'll do it real fast. Let's see here. So you want me to grab one up for Northern Indiana. Let's see. This program does not support soundings on HRRR, so let's use like the RAP model. RAP should be good. It just gives us an idea here. So it looks okay. So we're just gonna grab one here right around 0 UTC, roughly out there. Let's see what these soundings support. With that low, we probably have some pretty good looking photographs. Probably some pretty good curvature to them. Oh my gosh, my face looks so bright. Yeah, so look at that. So we do have that curvature you can see. Oops. There on the photographs overall. So we have that. The lower level, our dew point depression is pretty great. I mean, moisture's 50s. I mean, given the models and stuff here, yeah, I mean, we are going to have enough moisture, when those storms do roll off. It does look like we do kind of peak our way into the 60s in terms of, moisture. So good moisture supply, good instability. I mean, it's all there. I mean, lower level jets is probably going to be around 40, 50 knots, potentially. So that is certainly something that we should obviously look out for is, that tornado concern. Also damaging winds. I mean, yeah, just really kind of all the hazards is there. Let's see here. Cade wants to know, is it capping? Let me pull up the meso analysis real quickly. Let's see. I don't think there's much of a cap in effect. I could be wrong, though. I'm pretty sure Ohio is mostly free to convect. It does look like that there is a little cap, but not much. So if we have a strong enough updraft, it should be able to just punch right through that. Yeah. That's from what it looks like on meso analysis here. Let's see here. See, Kat says, should I be a little worried about big tornadoes at this area here? Let's see here. I don't know if there's going to be a high risk or not. You know, I always say, guys, regardless of high risk or moderate, you still need to be just as weather aware. You know, it's you know, still need to be prepared regardless. So your area is in a level 2. Level 2. So you're not going to be in that significant tornado threat. Actually, you're in a 2% chance for tornadoes here, which is really pretty low. Pretty low. So, you know, definitely not big tornadoes. Not expected to see those. Let's see here. Can I do a model run for later today in Indiana? Yeah. Let me bring that up real quickly again for you guys. We'll go ahead and overlay the HRRR again for you guys real quickly. We'll kind of show you guys the timing aspects of things. You know what? Here we're gonna go to this program here. Let's see here. Actually, here there we go. A lot easier to do it that way. All right, so let's go and bring up our radar here. We're going to pull up the HRRR. We'll go to the 0 UTC run. So, by the way, guys, if you do want to follow along in the timing, it is going to be in the top right here. So you guys can watch that. So, yeah, we have those storms that's rolling through now that we're kind of watching here. Then that'll roll its way into Canada. So, like we mentioned, there could be some convection across Ohio overnight and through the overnight hours. And you can actually see here, according to HRRR2, we could get some more convection, possibly in the realms of like southeastern Missouri, maybe towards like Indiana, Kentucky area. It's possible. Now, tomorrow, we work our way down in time further. You see that low that's kicking up across the Midwest or upper Midwest here towards Minnesota. So that'll initiate some more storms as we approach our way into the afternoon, evening for tomorrow. You know, as we have that diurnal heating that comes back, you know, the daylight heating essentially, which heats back up the surface, you know, and gets those storms really going, you know, kind of breaking that capping inversion. Which, yeah, I mean, at that point, we should definitely see a lot of convection developing here. I mean, you can kind of see, according to HRRR, it does look like a big Boeing segment of storms. Typically, a structure like this would indicate potential for strong winds, in which we do have. We do actually have a 45 significant threat for damaging winds, according to the Storm Prediction Center. So, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. And embedded inside of that line, there is going to be potential for some tornadic activity. So we will have to look out for that. We will have to look out for that, of course. But, you know, leading threat, I still think is going to be mostly damaging winds. Following tornadoes, of course, you know, still being possible. And, of course, large hail, too, overall. Let's see here. Julia, coming in with a $10 Venmo donation. Thank you so much, Julia. Greatly appreciate it. Y'all in chat, please give Julia a big thank you. Let's see here. Julia says, keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate that very, very much. Julia, thank you so much for your support. That's really sweet of you. I appreciate it, my friend. That definitely helps me out, too. Helps go towards our programs and stuff. So thank you so much. That's really sweet of you. Greatly, greatly appreciated. What's up, Sydney? Hope you're doing good. What's up, Sonia? Let's see here. Crystal says, how is Ohio tomorrow? So Ohio does need to be weather aware tomorrow for sure. You know, especially the more south you go, the greater the risk is. So, for example, if you're up north, you know, towards Cleveland, you're in a level 1 threat tomorrow. Let me actually bring you guys over here so you can see what I'm looking at here. So you can see the further south you go, the greater the risk is. So for the southern side of Ohio, you know, towards like the Cincinnati region, you know, Columbus, we have that level 3 threat. And for more of the central, kind of north central side, we have the level 2 and then so on. So it's, you know, the further south you go, the greater the potential for not only probability of these storms, but also the intensity of them as well increases the further south you go into the state. So that is something that you need to look out there for. Let's see here. Bella says, how is the zip code looking, please? Yep, I got you. By the way, guys, if you could leave a like, hit that subscribe button. So, yeah, we are in a level 2 here, my friend. So you do have a 2% chance for tornadoes, pretty low in risk for that. 15% wind threat and a 15% chance for hail, too. So Hail's going to be potentially ranging between 1 to 2 inches in diameter in terms of, maximum hail size within the region, between 1 to 2. And in terms of damaging winds, we're going to be seeing, we're not in that significant risk for damaging winds, which that's going to put you in mostly wind gusts between 60 and 70, if they did occur in the region there. So that is, that's that. All right, let's see. Ice Cream says, hey, Andrew, I hope you've been good. What does zip code look like? Yep, I got you. I've been doing pretty good. Hopefully you're doing good yourself, man. Let's see. Let me go and pull this up real fast. Alrighty. Whoa. Okay. So you, my friend, you're up in Oregon. Yeah, there's no severe weather out here, my friend. You're you're doing pretty good over here. Nothing crazy. At least nothing severe weather-wise, I should say. Let's see here. Julia says, how does tomorrow look at a whole Tennessee here? Once again, Julia, thank you for your support. So for Tennessee, the more north you go, the bigger the threat. So you can see, for example, like Knoxville, you guys are in that level 3 threat out here. Bristol's in the level 2. Johnson City's in the level 2. Working our way down towards Newport, level 2. So the more north and west you go into Tennessee, the greater the risk is. So, for example, a lot of the central northern side is in the enhanced risk, that level 3 threat. And there's a little sliver out by like Clarksville, in some of those regions that just barely makes it into the moderate level 4 threat overall. Now, in terms of tornadoes, the northwestern side of the state here and a little bit of the north central side is in that hatched tornado risk. Okay, so the yellow here indicates a 10% chance probability in which we could see tornadoes EF2 or greater. Otherwise, across the dark green and the brown, mostly going to be on the lower scale in terms of the EF rating. Of course, we can't be for sure for every single tornado that potentially could occur. I mean, yes, nature is crazy and highly unpredictable sometimes, in which, it's not a complete lock in saying that there is no potential at all for any significant. It's just not necessarily expected. Now, in the brown, we do have a 5% chance for tornadoes. So we are talking potential, 5% chance of a tornado dropping within a 25-mile radius of a given area. For example, Nashville. Say you live in Nashville. So within a 25-mile radius around you, 5% chance. 2% chance here across the green overall. In terms of damaging winds, it's a little different over here. So the hatch risk region, where you see that, the black dashed lines going through, this indicates a significant wind concern, in which we are talking potential damaging wind gusts here in excess of 70 to 80 miles an hour or greater. Now, otherwise, mostly between 60 and 70. The purple indicates a 45% chance of damaging winds. The red here indicates a 30% chance. The yellow, a 15% chance. And lastly, the brown, a 5% chance here. So that's that. So yeah, outside of that significant risk, mostly once again between 60 and 70 miles an hour, and inside of that hatch risk indicates potential for 70, 80 or greater. Okay, so we do need to look out for that. And then lastly, in terms of hail, it's the further west you go into the state here, for the most part, we do have a hatch risk for the western side of the state for Tennessee, where we could see hail 2 inches in diameter or larger. And for a lot of the central eastern side here, this is just mostly potential of hail between 1 to 2 inches in diameter overall. Now, probability base, same thing. Brown is a 5% chance probability equivalent. The yellow is a 15% chance, and the red is a 30% chance overall. Okay? Hopefully that helps. Alrighty. Let's see here what we got going on here. Let's see. Arctic says between Rochester. Oh, okay. Rochester and Edinburgh. Let's see if we can get that. Was that? Is that Tennessee, you said? Or what was this? Michigan? I'm sorry, Arctic. I already forgot where you wanted me to look. Illinois. Got it. Had to pull it up here. Let's see here. Illinois. Okay. So you're between... You said between Edinburgh, right? Between Edinburgh and... Hold on, I got lost in the comments. I'm sorry, guys. My apologies. Oh, yeah. Okay. Between Rochester and Edinburgh. Got it. So... Yeah, so you are in that level, I believe you're in the level 2 threat here. Yeah, the level 2 slight risk overall. So that does give you a 5% chance for tornadoes, a 15% chance for damaging wind gusts here, and a 15 significant risk for potential damaging hail, I should say. So hail between essentially 2 inches in diameter or greater, potentially, given that hatch risk. Gusty winds, damaging winds between 60 to upwards of 70 miles an hour for the most part. Potential within the storm. Not saying it will happen. It's just probability of it happening. Okay. Let's see here. Go ahead and scroll down here and get a little bit far down in chat here. I did not see that, Caden. Do I think northeastern Arkansas will see tornadoes later today? So, given the risk here from SPC, the northeastern side will possibly see some tornadic activity here. So, for the extreme northeastern side, you can see we do have that 10% risk out there for tornadoes, in which that does indicate a significant tornado concern. Potential for tornadoes, possibly EF2 or greater. And otherwise, here across the brown and the dark green, mostly not expected to be significant or anything like that. But there is still a chance for tornadoes. Brown equivalents to a 5% chance, and the green equivalents to a 2% chance overall. So, it is possible that we could see a couple of tornadoes up in northeastern Arkansas. Yes, it does seem quite possible. Okay, let's see here. No problem, Bella. Good morning to you, Vienna. What's up, Ma? Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. Lily says, hi there, Andrew. Outlook for Springfield tomorrow. I'm assuming Springfield, Illinois, because there's a Springfield, Missouri, too. I'm not too sure which one. If you could let me know, it would be much appreciated. It'd help out a lot. More than one. Let's see here. What's up, MD? Hope you're doing good. Saying, hi, Andrew. I'm sorry I'm late. How is this zip code looking? I got you. You're good. Don't worry about it. Hey, like I mentioned, you're here, and I'm glad to help out. Okay, so you are in the level 3. You are in that enhanced risk overall. That gives you a 5% chance for tornadoes, a 30% chance for damaging wind gusts, and you are in that hatch risk region, which shows potential that we could have some strong wind gusts, 70, 80 miles an hour, or potentially stronger. In terms of hail, we do have a 15% chance probability here for hail. Given it's a hatch risk, there is potential for hail 2 inches in diameter and larger. So yeah, definitely do need you to be weather aware. Make sure you have everything ready to go, for tomorrow. All right. Bonafide says, what about Jackson, Tennessee? I heard we're in the level 2 and level 3. Just want to make sure which one is true. So Jacksonville. Wait, where's Jacksonville? Or Jackson, right? You say Jackson? Sorry. Jackson's in the level 3, yes. In the enhanced risk here for tomorrow. So for tonight, going into tomorrow, it's a level 2. But overall, yeah, it's a level 3 here. That does give you a 5% chance for tornadoes, a 15 significant risk for hail, and a 30% right on the boundary of that hatch risk out there for significant hail. But right on the edge of it, so we could still see some large hail potential. Okay. Chris says, hi, Andrew. Do I think this is going to be a tornado outbreak or more of a wind threat? I think more of a wind threat, to be honest with you. Now, don't get me wrong. There definitely could be a lot of tornadoes tomorrow, too. There could be a lot of tornadoes. There could be some strong ones. But given the mode... Here, let's hop back to models real quickly. Given the mode and how the storm system looks, at least according to models like the HRRR, you can see how it just looks like a huge Boeing segment. So, typically when you see something like this, yes, there can be tornadic activity inside of it. But yeah, those Boeing segments really do kind of produce a lot of damaging wind gusts. Now, the thing is, I'm a little bit concerned about tomorrow is the fact that this is going to be going on into the overnight hours here. For one, it's going to make it hard to see anything. So please just make sure that you are still monitoring the weather overnight, and don't rely on what you see or hear outside. Okay, you need to be monitoring the radar. So, regarding the storm here, The thing I'm a little bit concerned about is not only is it nighttime, but there also is going to be potential for rain-wrapped tornadic potential. So what I mean by that is that within the line of storms, there is a potential that we could get some tornadoes deep into that convection, deep into that heavy rainfall, which could obscure any viewing. Now, like I mentioned, it's going to be dark anyways, so it's going to be very hard. So please do not wait to see or hear it, okay? I know a lot of people who do not seek shelter until they physically see it, which that is not how you handle it. That is not how you handle it. You need to go off of the warnings that are in place. Yes, sometimes there's not tornadoes even in tornado warnings, but they're there for your safety, okay? It seriously could save your life if you go to shelter, okay? Now, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just telling you it's serious and that, people do need to really, look out. And they really do need to not just brush them off, because I know a lot of people who do that or just wait till it's there, which you shouldn't do. Anyways, moving on. Let's see here. Let me see. Working our way down here. Where was I at? Let's see, I kind of lost where I was at. All right, we're going to go ahead and scroll down here to the bottom. Keep up with our chat here. All right, what's up, Nikki? Hope you're doing good. Welcome, welcome. Lily wants me to take a look at Springfield, Missouri. Got it. Got it. That helps me a lot. All right, so Springfield, Missouri is in the level 2. So we are in that slight risk here overall here for tomorrow. So we do have a 2% chance for tornadoes across Springfield. Very low probability. 15% chance for damaging wind gusts, potentially ranging between 60 and worst case scenario upwards of 70. And in terms of hail, it depends. I mean, you're kind of right on the cutoff zone between that 15 hatch risk and that 5% non-significant risk. So, I mean, there could be some large hail in the region here. We're just going to leave it at that. Potentially 2 inches in diameter or larger. I mean, you can't take it specifically. Like saying, okay, this area right... Okay, this person's house right here. Yes, there is a chance of significant hail. There is not a chance for this shed over here far, or whatever house it is. You can't take it like that. I mean, it's just a general area. Even near... It's just kind of... Imagine it fading out, right? Imagine it fading out rather than being a hard line saying you cannot see hail that large. It's not like that, even though it kind of shows it. But, you know what I'm saying. Imagine it fading out. Just imagine it. All right, let's see here. How will it be in west central Indiana tomorrow? So we do have potential for nasty weather out there. For the west central side. I mean, given that we do have a level 3 threat and even a level 4 down in the southwestern and southern side of the state. So, we do need you to be weather aware, certainly. And like we mentioned, it's kind of an all hazards concern here. We do have a 45 significant risk for damaging winds here tomorrow. And in terms of the red, 30%, 15 across the yellow, 5 across the brown. Then we got that big 30 sig hail threat, and then as of right now, a 10% significant tornado threat here. So, yeah, I mean it's pretty good threat, All right, let's see here. 15, yeah, Christy, it's coming up soon, isn't it? It'll be here before you know it. Let's see here. How does Northern Ohio look tonight? So we are watching out for the potential of a couple of storms here. Looking at the HRRR model again, we'll hop to the 04 Zulu run. This is the latest run we got. So with that line of storms that we're currently monitoring over the eastern side of Michigan, later tonight, I mean, we are in a slight risk out there for severe weather. As you can see, the HRRR does show the possibility of some convection, some randomized convection going on across the state. There could be some of that lower, that southern tail of that line of storms that we're kind of watching right now that could barely squeeze its way into the northern side of the state. So, I mean, we should watch for the potential of a little bit of storm activity. The odds are fairly low. I mean, it doesn't look like any widespread convection, but it does look like we could get some isolated severe storms. Wouldn't rule it out. I mean, the instability is there. We have good fuel for the storms. I mean, we have great moisture, mid-upper 60 dew points, with not much of a, not much of a dew point depression either. Given our temperatures, our ambient temperatures are in the lower 70s and our dew points are in the upper 60s. There's not much of a gap between that, indicating higher humidities and good moisture values overall for the storms. Wind shear, it's nothing extreme, but it is enough to get some decent organization going. Mid-level shear, 45-ish knots. And our lower-level jet here is roughly about 30 knots or so. It just depends on where you're at. But mostly linear flow. It's mostly flowing in the same direction. I don't think we'd get much tornadic activity. I wouldn't rule it out completely, but I think if we did get some concern or some severe weather, it would probably be mostly gusty winds, to be honest with you. The hail threat seems to have minimized quite a bit. Anyways, no problem, Chris. Why do they not require building codes in tornado-prone areas to have shelter? I'm not too sure. I'm not really much into engineering. I ain't too sure about all that. That's a good question, though. Let's see here. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate it, man. Let's see. Hoop says, can I take a look at St. Louis for for today? My family lives there. So St. Louis is, it depends on which side, because you can kind of see here St. Louis is between that enhanced and that moderate. The southern side of St. Louis, we have that moderate risk out there. The northern side of St. Louis is in the enhanced. Now, tornado probability for St. Louis is around a 5% chance overall. Christy coming in with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Christy. Saying, stay safe, everyone. I don't envy you. Tornadoes are scary. Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Christy. That's very sweet. Y'all in chat, please give Christy a big thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Christy, you rock, my friend. Thank you so much. So, yeah, St. Louis, we do have a 5% chance here. Damaging winds, okay, it ranges. It ranges. The southern side of St. Louis has that 45 significant wind damage concern threat that we have. The northern side is a 30% chance. Regardless, there is potential for really strong winds out there, potentially 70, 80 miles an hour or greater. Hail. We do have all of St. Louis is the same risk here, 30% chance probability here for hail, essentially, 2 inches in diameter or greater, given that hatch risk, talking significant hail potential. So, yeah, like I said, it just kind of ranges. You can kind of see the threat levels really drop off pretty quickly. You can see for the northeastern side, we have that little level 1, and then the east central side, we go straight to that level 4. So, that is that. Let's see here. Blur says, will Chattanooga get tornadoes, or do I think the line should weaken by the time it hits us? So, Chattanooga, you guys are right on the edge of that marginal and that level 2 threat. You're in the level 2 slight risk here. It does have a 2% chance for tornadoes, so the odds of you getting a tornado is extremely low. Very, very low. Now, even if we did get a tornado, say worst case scenario happens in that 2%, which is very low odds. Honestly, you probably have better luck winning the lottery, to be honest. But lower in terms of it, even if we did get tornadoes to develop out of this, given that there's not too much strong of wind shear to support anything significant, they would likely remain weak and relatively brief as well in terms of duration. So, yeah, odds are pretty slow. Odds are pretty low, I should say. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. But still, if a warning gets issued, if you have a way to receive warnings, I'd highly recommend doing that. Now, in terms of winds, though, we do have a 15% chance for damaging winds and a 5% chance for hail. Okay, so we do need to look out for the potential for gusty winds and possibly some small hail. We can't rule out either. But generally speaking, the threat is on the lower side. It's nothing like we're expecting up in like western Kentucky or like southern Indiana, southern Illinois, southeastern Missouri, nothing like that. So. Anyways, odds are very low. No problem, Lily. You're welcome. Kyle says, my thoughts on Ohio tomorrow. So for the more south you go in Ohio, the greater the threat overall is. We went over this here a few moments ago. The more south you go, the greater the probability is, for tornadoes, hail, damaging winds, essentially. So, we do need Ohio to be weather aware. The entire state is under at least a level 1 severe weather threat here, and the greatest threat level in the southern side is a level 3. So, yeah, Ohio does need to be weather aware tomorrow, potential for all hazards. So, keep an eye out there for it. Regardless of where you're at, you should still be weather aware. No problem, Karen. Hopefully I helped you out. I don't know where I was going with that. Let's see here. Hoops wants me to take a look at Belleville. Oh, that's for St. Louis area, isn't it? Okay, so yeah, this area is in the moderate level 4. That does give a 10% tornado risk here, a 45% significant wind threat, and a 30% chance significant hail threat. So, let's see here. Caden, the odds are pretty low of you getting severe weather out there, but we should still monitor it. I mean, you're in a relatively low end risk here, but, yeah. Let's see here. Mary wants me to take a look at Warsaw, Indiana. Gotcha. Lori, I don't think they're going to pull a high risk. I mean, you never know. I can't tell you for sure if they are. I mean, that's up to SPC, and if models continue to hold up or show anything stronger potentially. By the way, Mary, you are in the level 2 threat tomorrow, so you do have a 2% chance for tornadoes. So 2% chance of a tornado dropping within a 25-mile radius around you. There is a 15% wind threat, potential for gusty winds between 60 and 70 miles an hour, 15% chance of it happening within a 25-mile radius. And same thing for hail, 15% chance between 1 to 2 inches in diameter hail. That's crazy, Blur. I'm glad you're okay, though. Yeah, Hoops, it looks a little interesting. We definitely need to be weather aware today. Yeah, Lori, you're in Southern Illinois. Do I think they'll issue a high risk? I don't, like I said, we'll have to see. I mean, but we still need to be just as weather aware as we would a high risk. I mean, moderate, high, either or, we still need to be weather aware, Either or, still a high-end risk for severe weather, yes. But we'll see what happens. It's up to models and observations and SPC. It's just so many factors that play in. Hoop says, seriously, thank you for all you do, man. I've been following you for a good minute. Love every stream. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Glad you like it. Cody says, what do I think for Huntington, West Virginia tomorrow, especially strong winds and hail? Thank you. Yep, no problem. So Huntington area here, I believe you're in the slight risk, if I'm not mistaken. No, you're actually in the enhanced risk. Okay. So, yeah, you're into level 3. Tornado probability has you in a 5% chance for tornadoes. That gives you a 30% significant risk for damaging wind gusts here. Potential for gusts, I hate to say it, 70, 80 miles an hour or greater, given you're in that hatch risk. That line could really produce some strong winds. Now, in terms of hail, we also do have a 15% chance for hail, ranging between, mostly 1 to 2 inches in diameter. You're just outside of that hatch risk overall. So, thank you, Christy. I appreciate it. No problem, Brad. I'm glad to help out. Vienna says, is it safe to sleep in eastern Michigan? I got woke up by the storm. No, you're good. Let me take a look at that real quickly. Seems like a lot of it's exiting Michigan right now. Yeah, I mean, most of the threat is relatively over. Unless you're in a warning, like Detroit does have a severe thunderstorm warning for, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust potential. I mean, yeah, the threat is pretty much over with for Michigan as of right now. At least for tonight, I should say. Yeah, because tomorrow we do have another level 1 threat to go through, potential for a little bit more storm activity. But today was the worst of it for you guys anyways. Further south, it's going to be a little bit more active tomorrow, or later today, I should say. That is true, Hoops. Yep. Let's see. Barry says, just got here doing a great job for all of us. Be safe. Thank you so much. No problem, Mary. You're very welcome. Lori says, H-Rock pretty scary. I'm ready for winter. Hate severe. Who just got out of winter, man? Ready for winter. Hate severe weather season. My anxiety can't take it. I understand that. But just know, Lori, it'll all be all right. We'll get through this, guys. We'll get through it. This is pretty common for this time of the year. Thankfully, we're going to be coming out of storm season or severe weather season pretty soon. I mean, typically the most active parts is March, April, and May. MAM, I call it, the MAM months. Once you go into June and July, I mean, yes, there still can be some periodic outbreaks here and there, but the rate of which they occur slows down typically. But with that, there is a sacrifice. with the decline of severe weather activity is an increase in tropical activity. And then from tropical to winter, and then from winter to severe, and it just never ends. It's a never-ending loop. It's always something. It's just the world for you, man. It's crazy weather world we have. Okay, Vienna, just stay indoors away from windows. Currently, there's no active tornado warnings right now. You can see the counter in the top. So there's 0 tornado warnings and 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. One of those is for upper state Michigan. The other one is for the thumb of Michigan towards Harbor Beach, towards Forster. Croswell, Lexington, for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts out there. Yeah, both of those are for the same thing. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and penny hail. Let's see here. Let's see here. What about Clarksville, Tennessee? I got you, my friend. Let's take a look at that real quickly. So hop on over here to Clarksville. Okay, so Clarksville is in the moderates. You're right on the edge between the level 3 and the level 4 moderate risk. So we are in the moderate risk overall for severe weather. You do have a 10% chance for tornadoes. So within a 25-mile radius around you, there is a 10% chance of a tornado dropping. And given the hatch risk, there is potential for strong tornadic activity, potentially EF2 or greater. In terms of damaging winds, given that you're in Clarksville, we do have a 45% chance for significant damaging wind gust potential. We are talking the potential for those wind gusts 70, 80 miles an hour or greater. And then lastly, in terms of hail, we do have a 30% chance overall for hail, which is a hatch risk as well. Potential for hail 2 inches in diameter and larger. So, yeah, me too, John. Yeah, I hope not, Hoops. I really don't think we... I hope we don't. I think we'll stay moderate, too. It's just... We'll have to see. It's just mostly a big wind bag, I believe. Let's see here. That's funny, Julia. Yeah, the West never really gets them because of the Rockies. They usually... it's the plains, because the plains is perfect. It's flat. You get those lows that develop, and then you got the moisture supply from the Gulf that just fuels everything. That's why those areas typically get a lot. What about Ohio, says Robin? So Ohio does need to be weather aware. I was mentioning earlier here that the more south you go in Ohio, the greater the concern for severe weather is. So for the southern side, including like Cincinnati, right on the edge of like southern Columbus, we do have an enhanced risk level 3 threat for severe weather. A lot of the state is at least a level 2. Cleveland is in the level 1. So, I mean, regardless of where you're at in Ohio, we should still definitely be weather aware. But just know the further south you are in Ohio, the greater the risk is. So, anyways. But guys, please be careful out there, okay? The good news is, like I said, for tonight, things are calming down a little bit. We cannot rule out an isolated severe storm or two across Ohio overnight hours. Right now, like we mentioned here, things are starting to materialize, or starting to, dematerialize, I should say. A lot of that storm activity is rolling out of Michigan. Right now, the only warning we have left, the only 2 warnings we have left here is the one out here by Detroit and the other one in the upper state of Michigan here, which this one expires in 25 and this one expires in 10. So the one from Detroit expires in about 10 minutes. So that's going to really be all we need to be live for, really. I just wanted to hop on for a little bit. I wasn't planning on doing super, super long coverage here with you guys tonight. I mean, because we're not going to need any extended coverage tonight. Tomorrow, that's a different story. We got to be live a lot tomorrow night. Okay, tonight's a little bit more calmer, thankfully. But I mean, otherwise, like I mentioned, a little bit of convection possible. A little bit of storms could pop up in Ohio. Overnight. Probably not going to be anything like super widespread or anything like that. There could be some convection developing here. So the models do support maybe a little bit. Here, I do have a pen here. I can withdrawal. A little bit for storms in these regions here. To be honest with you, it's mostly these areas here that I would watch out for, maybe a little bit of storm activity overnight for the most part. So, no problem, Robin. I'm glad to help out. By the way, guys, if you haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button, leaving a like, and sharing this if you guys could. It would be greatly appreciated. Just want to say thank you, everybody, for being there, helping us out, and just hanging out with us, man. It's greatly appreciated. But we're going to take some final questions here before I roll off here, y'all. It's getting late. I got to get some rest, too. But if you guys, have any questions, feel free to throw it down in the chat, and I'll be more than happy to answer the last couple of them. But we'll get through this, guys. I know it's a little nerve-wracking. I get it. Moderate's pretty big risk, but we'll get through it. Once again, a little bit of a summary for the people just joining us. We have a severe weather outbreak, tornado outbreak expected tomorrow. The greatest concerns is towards the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. So basically, we have 5 levels of severity. The scale goes from 1 to 5. The dark green is a thunderstorm risk, and the level 1 starts at the dark green. The severe weather threat starts at the dark green. It's a marginal level 1 threat. The yellow is a slight level 2. The orange is an enhanced level 3, and then the red is a moderate level 4. There is no high risk level 5 as of now. I don't think we'll have one, but you never know. We'll see what happens. But mostly a wind concern, I believe. There certainly will be concerns for all types of significant severe weather in terms of, hail, damaging winds, and tornadic activity. As of now, maximum threat for winds is a 45 significant risk overall here for damaging winds. Tornado threat right now is a maximum 10% significant. And in terms of hail, we do have a 30% significant chance out there as well. So, what about the timing in Ohio? So it looks like it's going to start to roll into Ohio relatively late. So don't take this precisely, okay? Late evening is when I would count on it. It doesn't look like it's going to be much of an afternoon event for you guys, but more of an evening event, kind of working its way roughly around anywhere from like 7 to 10 p.m. your time on the western side, and then it should be out of Ohio pretty much a little bit after midnight. So, anyways. Is it bad that it was thunderstorming nonstop and lightning? Now it's quiet in Michigan. So that means that the atmosphere has used up all of its fuel, essentially, right now. You're good. You're good for right now, Vienna. So the one line of storms, it's basically a hit and done type of event. You got one hit and then you're done. But just remember, tomorrow there's another little chance for severe weather, but it's not as great of a threat for you as it was today for you. So, anyways. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to go ahead and roll off here for tonight. Like I said, severe weather concerns pretty much waning down for the night. Things have calmed down very, very, quite a bit. So like I mentioned, a possibility of a pop-up severe thunderstorm warning or two can't be ruled out overnight. But tomorrow the big stuff starts. We're going to do an update live stream tomorrow before the event starts, and then we're going to cover tomorrow night, okay? So, me, I don't like to typically do daytime coverage because, everybody's streaming during the daytime, and it's good to have some night coverage, so we're going to do that tomorrow night. We'll be sure to be live for you guys a little bit longer tomorrow. But, yeah, we're going to do a kind of a late morning, probably afternoon update for you guys regarding this event here overall, and then we'll do the coverage tomorrow night at some point, or probably the morning of the next day, but, you know how it goes. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. You guys take care. Have a great night. And once again, Christy, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. And as well as Julia, thank you so much as well for the support, my friend. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you all. And all right, everybody. Well, you guys take care. Have a wonderful rest of your night. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Leave a like. Share this. It would be much appreciated. That way we can help spread the awareness, guys. The more you guys can help share this, the more people we can help out. And it would be greatly appreciated. All right, everybody. Y'all take care. Have a great night. Please don't try to worry about it. I understand it's a little nerve-wracking, but we'll get through this together, guys. We got it. We'll get through it. And all right, everybody. You guys take care. Have a wonderful rest of your night. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out, my friends. See ya later on.